The question for today is, does God really care about the details? Or isn't what's most important what's in my heart? In the physical world, we see there are many things that need to be done with great precision. For example, we wouldn't want to go to a brain surgeon or someone who's setting a broken bone who almost gets it right. We wouldn't want our home to be built by an architect who doesn't exactly follow the plans, or we wouldn't want to use a pharmacist who doesn't fulfill the prescriptions with the greatest attention to the right mix of ingredients. So our world is full of things that are harmful and dangerous. We live with a consciousness of natural cause and effect, like in everything that we do. And we go about our daily routine trying to avoid the harm that comes from cause and effect. For example, we're very alert when we're driving to turn the steering wheel just the right amount. Turn it a little bit more and you hit a tree or, God forbid, a pedestrian. There's so many rules in the physical world to follow. Don't drop something because there's gravity and it will break. Brush and floss if you want to keep your teeth for life. Take your prescriptions as indicated. 2 pills, not 1 pill, not 3 pills. They're so tiny. Does it really matter? Assemble the computer according to the manual if you expect it to actually work. Make sure you add the dot before the com if you want your email to get to its destination. Wear a sunscreen, avoid pesticides and GMOs and too much fat if you care about your health. Why can't we just smoke and drink and eat Twinkies all day? It's all part of living in a material world of cause and effects. And we know there's consequences to everything we do. And the same is also true in the emotional world and the world of relationships. There are rules of engagement with people, and those of us who don't follow the rules suffer the consequences. So when we speak to someone with disrespect, or we gossip about them, or we don't keep a secret, or a promise, or we shame somebody, or we're very critical, or maybe we're just a little critical, we suffer the consequences. One small word, one politically incorrect comment can spell the end of a relationship. We certainly know that one today. So we're very aware of these physical and emotional realities, and we know we have to try to do things right. The same applies in the spiritual world. Our rabbis tell us the spiritual world is a mirror of the physical world. We often wonder why things need to be done so precisely in our Torah. For example, a few weeks ago, we saw the tabernacle had to be built exactly according to specification. The anointing oil, and in this week's Torah portion, the incense had to be made exactly according to the proper recipe. Did it really matter whether all the ingredients were added in just the right measure? Does it really matter if you leave a little tablespoon of yeast out of your challah recipe? We have so many rules in our Torah about Shabbat, holidays, what we eat, how tefillin should be made, how a sukkah should be constructed. Isn't it good enough if I just put something up in my backyard that resembles a sukkah, even if it's not constructed exactly according to specification? Does God really care? My heart's in the right place. Isn't that what really matters? So the deeper we get into Torah study, the more we learn about God's laws of spiritual engagement. Spiritual life is also a reality with rules, formulas, and consequences. A healthy spiritual life also requires great attention to detail. We have a much harder time with the rules of spiritual engagement because we don't clearly see the cause and effect. For example, if the dentist doesn't do your root canal exactly right, you will suffer the consequences right away. But in contrast, it's not as clear to us how eating bacon or working on Shabbos or not taking the time to pray harms our soul. We don't understand why we need to be so obsessive about cleaning for Passover. Why can't we just buy a box of matzah and call it a Seder? It's because we don't understand the world of our souls. And God is teaching us that attention to detail also applies in the spiritual world. Why would we even think it would be different? We take very good care of our bodies, which come from dust, and in the end, they will return to dust. Our souls are eternal, and they need to be cared for and protected at least as much as we do our bodies. The requirements of living a Jewish life may be daunting at times, but all the detail teaches us that details do matter. And what's in our heart also matters, big time. Wishing you a beautiful Shabbos.